看去，那一帘秋月。
The first class, the first week is an introduction to the introductory course. So yeah, it does not matter much whether or not you were given the materials in advance or not. So yeah, let's take a look at this week's teaching learning content. In this session, we will cover general aspects of communication and mass communication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There are 7 or 8 broad aspects I'm going to cover in this session. Hopefully I can finish them all, but if I can't, you are expected to you are expected to do the readings I will assign later concerning what I talked about in this session, okay? So, we're going to talk about, first of all, communication, the concept, the definition of communication, then 2 different models of communication. There are, by the way, half a dozen, perhaps more than half a dozen models concerning the process of communication. In this session, in this class, we are going only to encounter 2 of them, the 2 most important of them, okay? And if you're interested, of course, you're welcome to look into other unmentioned models by yourselves. And then elements of communication. Elements, there are, again, about a dozen elements in the process of communication, in the act of communication, which we're going to talk one by one in detail. And then mass communication. Look here, communication, mass communication, what do you think? What do you think is the difference between communication and mass communication? The difference is only one word, mass, right? Yeah. Communication can be small scale. You and I, between our 2 people, we can make communication happen, okay? But mass communication, it means communication on a massive scale, preferably by the means of modern technology, such as satellite, such as telecommunication network, so on and so forth, okay? And then we'll cover culture, the relationship of culture and communication. By the way, culture is an indispensable component, indispensable part of communication. No communication can occur without the background noise of culture. So culture will be talked a lot during this session. And by the way, in the future, if you're going to write your graduation thesis, dissertation, many of you may touch upon the subject of culture or some subject related, correlated with culture. Okay, keep culture in mind always. So, and then the scope of mass media. The scope of mass media. In that section, we are going to meet a lot of figures, and those figures might have changed very rapidly during the recent times. Okay, it's been changing. The figure has been growing, expanding, climbing, skyrocketing at an accelerated rate since the advent of modern communication technology, telecommunication technology, especially since the advent of mobile internet technology in the recent decade. Okay, and then in the end, it's media literacy. As a citizen of the modern world, modern societies, we are required to be proficient at some level of literacy. Literacy does not only mean that we can read and write within with modern languages such as Chinese, English, Japanese, and so forth and so on, but also broadly speaking, literacy can also include, for example, numeracy literacy. We can do arithmetic calculations such as adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, so on and so forth. Numeracy literacy is part of literacy, and more importantly, and increasingly importantly, media literacy has become almost an indispensable, again, another indispensable part of literacy as a modern citizen, as a participant of modern society. We cannot do in almost all walks of life. Nowadays, without literacy of the media, without the literacy of, say, IT technology, we are almost not able to live our life as a normal functioning individual in such a complex, technology-dominated, media-dominated modern society. So these are the topic subjects we're going to cover in this